Okay, so I popped over to Sketchfab because we need a model to build our story around. So we're going to use a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So I typed in Tyrannosaurus free. Whew, it took me a while to spell that. And I've got this one right here. So if you're going to download this, right, you'll have some choices on how to download it. Really, you can download any version you want, will probably work. But we might as well take this right here, this GLTF. That's a transmission format, so that's a good one for using on the web and things. I think we talked about this in A-Frame. So I would download that one. Once you have that, mosey back over to Spark AR, and let's import an asset. So we don't have any imported yet, so we can just hit from computer, and we'll find on my desktop I have it somewhere. I downloaded it and unzipped it on my desktop. It's probably called Tyrannosaurus Rex. So I'm just going to grab the glitch shift thing here and say open and give it a second to import. And there it is. And notice that it also imported all the textures because they were all in that texture folder and they were mapped to it. So we'll go ahead and get everything. And just to clean it up, I'm going to close this triangle because I'm not going to need to see any of those things. So the next thing we want to do is bring our dinosaur out. So I'm actually going to grab that and make it a child of the null object here. And so here it is. We have our adorable little dinosaur. Obviously dinosaurs are way more bigger. So I'm going to go into the scale here and I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. And notice it's kind of staying stuck to our floor here, which is nice because it knows it wants to be part of that plane tracker, and so Spark AR is smart enough to do that, unlike it would do in Unity. So now if I go play like this, it's like, ooh, I got this big scary dinosaur in front of me, and so I think that's kind of cool, right? And of course, too, we could play with the lighting. Maybe the lighting's a little dark on this model. I'm going to go ahead and maybe just brighten it up just a good amount, right? I think that's fine. To use to have some brightness and bring it down a little bit. Right, so I clicked on the ambient light and I played with that. And that's it. That's all we really need to do for the dinosaur. If we wanted to, obviously we could, give him a little bit of a turn. Whoa, how did I get just his teeth here? I must have grabbed somewhere in it here. So let's go here. There we go. Somehow I grabbed just his teeth. Again, you can just position this any way you want to. Really doesn't matter. All that matters is that he's on the floor and that he's bigger than us. Because one of the things about using augmented reality, I think, is playing with it to kind of explore scale in some ways. I mean, that's not the only way to use augmented reality, but that's a cool one. Okay, I need to append something onto this 3D model thing because there's a problem with this model, and I know it, that you're only allowed to have up to, I think, 4 megabytes. So if we go into here, Spark AR 3D model file size, right? You're only allowed so much file size. If we look in the things right here, Instagram, it has to be 4 megabytes or less, your whole app, really, actually, not just a 3D model size. And in Facebook, it has to be 2 megabytes for best reach, but can be up to 10 megabytes. That means they're going to show more people this one because of their weird algorithm. But we see Instagram needs to be 4 megabytes. So you can go and test how big your app is going to be. If you go to this upload button, it will calculate the file size. And here we see, oh no, the file size doesn't meet Instagram requirements. It would on iOS and Android. It wouldn't on older Android. It's not even going to be a big deal for us right now because we're not going to actually, maybe someone of you has the older Android and it won't send it up. I'm not sure because I don't have an older Android. But we could do things to figure this out, right? We could decimate the model. What's probably happening with this model is that you saw how many of these there were, all these textures. My guess would be that we could go in and maybe down. It's funny that there's less textures here, but my guess is that we could have probably, this file is 9.8 megabytes, and yet you saw it compressed it. It runs this compression algorithm no matter what. I bet you if we took this one and maybe tried to compress it more, or maybe not because it's that, the only other option is if we're using one of our own 3D models is to use the decimate within photo scan.